My name's Chase. I'm wearing the dress uniform of the 23rd Infantry Regiment, who was stationed here from 1884 to 1890. I will be doing the rifle firing demonstration, and I'll shoot this rifle. But first, I want to give a little context about why we're here, what the soldiers were doing with these rifles, and how they would train with them. So again, this was the second national park here, just a few years after Yellowstone, and in theory and in name, the soldiers here were supposed to be maintainers of the park because there was no National Park Service yet, so it was handed off to the War Department to take care of these, to take care of the park. But the soldiers would be very occupied with their normal soldierly duties, such as guard mount, where they would have a 24-hour watch around the fort and the town below. They would also have fatigue duty, where they'd be maintaining the parks, maintaining the fort and the outside, like painting, cutting the grass. They would also have extra duty like making roads, building buildings, and all that stuff. But they would also have to train twice a week at the range. The reason they had this is because there was an adoption of a hunt system that was adopted in 1883, where soldiers were required to train twice a week with their rifles at at least a 600-yard range or a 1,000-yard range. Soldiers who practiced there, again, they would practice twice a week, but soldiers here had a lot of free time, so they'd be practicing up to almost 5 times a week. Soldiers who would be, and with a lot of free time comes a lot of better accuracy. Soldiers who had better accuracy would get designations such as sharpshooter and marksman. Marksmen could hit targets up to 600 yards away consecutively and reliably. They would get little collar tabs on their uniforms, and soldiers who could hit up to 1,000 yards away could get the designation of sharpshooter, which was one of the highest awards of the time, besides actual military medals. To give you a reference, 1,000 yards is about to the end of the Scotch Jetty there, or to the White Lighthouse. Soldiers would be aiming at targets at the White Lighthouse. If you look at the White Lighthouse, there's little black squares. Soldiers would be hitting targets that are slightly smaller than that at 1,000 yards, which just gives you a little bit of visual aspects to it. Again, soldiers would be practicing twice a week at the minimum, up to 5 times. They would be using this rifle, which is the Springfield 4570. It was adopted in 1873. It was the first breech-loading black powder rifle that was adopted by the U.S. military, which means everybody in the U.S. military would get a version of this, or something like it. Like a cavalry would have a shorter one, and the infantry would have this one. In a later adoption would become they would have a different sight besides this one, which could only go up to around 600 yards. So there was an adoption called I'm pretty sure it was the P40 sight that was adopted that could adjust for windage and go all the way up to 1,200 yards, which was the effective maximum range of this rifle. But soldiers would be practicing with this many times, and in 1883, 1885, the soldiers here were the third most accurate garrison in the entire United States, which is a testimony to how much they practiced and how accurate they were with the rifles. So I will be shooting this rifle. I will be. The reason it's called a breech loader, I'll go over that first, is the fact that it opens up here at the breech. You take out your fairly modern-looking metallic cartridge with a center fire primer. You put it in there, you close it, you cock it, you fire it, which is very modern for the time, because at the point this was before, like in the Civil War and in the Revolutionary War, you'd have muzzle loaders where you can only get maybe 3 or 4 shots off for a minute for a very well-trained soldier, but this one you could get almost 12 to 15 shots a minute. It was much more accurate, mainly because it was loading from the breech, and muzzle loaders, like in the Civil War, you would have to have a smaller diameter ball than the actual bore so it could actually go down and seat properly. But that is mostly what this rifle was known for. It was very accurate, much more accurate than any other rifle that was tested, and this would be later changed out for the Krag-Jorgensen rifle, and then eventually the 1903 Springfield. But again, I will be firing this. I'm going to be putting in highly inaccurate, if I can find them in my back pocket. I'll be wearing highly inaccurate, bright yellow. I think they're yellow. I'm colorblind. They're bright neon foam earplugs. Again, I wear these earplugs because I shoot all day, every day, which is a fun job, but I would like to keep my hearing until I'm 30. I recommend you all to use your historically accurate earplugs, which are your favorites right here. Again, this is a original rifle. It will be loud. We are shooting the full 70 grain black powder. That was the service charge at the time. So there will be a noticeable bang, but again, it won't be as loud as if we're firing an actual bullet, because it's all just going out at the same time, not actually being blocked by the bullet. I will be just trying to shoot off 3 rounds as quick as possible. I will not be trying for accuracy, mostly for safety's sake, because I don't want to be shooting at any of that. But I assure you, I am a good shot. I'm going to sit back and enjoy. Original rifles. That's why you saw me having so many issues with this. This one's from 1878, so I had a few ejection issues. But besides that, thank you for coming to the rifle firing demonstration. We have a cannon firing demonstration at 6:30. That'll be our last demonstration for the day. But for wherever you go from here, have a good day here at Fort Mackinac.
Thank you. Thank you.